So you come to work in business with your insecurities, with your issues, with difficulties, with
Mhm.
attitudes, maybe you have judgments against certain people. So when you have this possibility to take on a project or some business or even a job, you don't even go for it because, oh no, they won't. I'm not there yet. I don't have the qualifications they're looking for. Oh, we haven't worked with that big of a business before. So you
Right.
might be holding your back. And there are all kinds of issues that are sabotaging your success and your happiness.
I want to start with your story. Can you tell us a bit about your journey and how you got into the business that you're now in?
Sure. Let's see if I can make it short. I was a seeker. I wasn't
Mm.
sure what um, to tell my sons when it comes to religion and those inner workings. I grew up
Right.
in a Catholic environment, and I went to church rather frequently. I was in the church group or the youth group, own connection. So, following that thread, going through church, I found another church. I started reading the Bible some more. But then I
Mm.
started realizing that I needed to do something more. I needed to help people. My calling was to actually make a difference. And so I started shifting things around. And as soon as I opened up to allowing this to happen, of course, universe provided and all these techniques and methods, and my journey began making my own situation better and understanding these
Mm.
deeper areas better. And
Mhm.
then I found some techniques and methods to help others. And I've been perfecting this all along. I've been working with clients for 15 years, and I'm still perfecting, and I'm
Wow.
still tweaking, and I'm still trying to find even better ways. So that's the short of it.
Great. That's great. So when you say that you bettered yourself using these tools first, what was that process like for you, and how did you first come across these techniques?
Well, as I mentioned, I started via the traditional church methods, believe more and you'll be saved. And
Right.
somehow that framework didn't fit. So as I was taking these steps, I started my helping journey as a breath worker. So I began having sessions with clients via breath work. And it's a wonderful
Mhm.
process, and it does go deep, but it takes some time. And it's a
Right.
long period for the client. The client has to lay in a position for a while, and it's an elaborate process. And I'm a bit eager. I have this eager streak. I want to be efficient. I want effect. I want results without hurrying my clients, of course. And I do have a slow outer facade or way of being. I haven't chosen it. But on the inside, there's this eagerness going on, and I want effect,
Mhm.
and I want my client not to have to suffer for very long. So, on
Right.
that journey and following my own needs and my own personality, I step by step discovered better and better techniques. So, the breath work, wonderful, but takes too long for me. And so, as I
Yeah.
was discovering or reaching out for something even better, I found EFT tapping. And I mentioned it to my
Mm.
husband, and he said, "Oh, yeah." And I said, but it's this amazing method, and oh wow, and all these people are doing it, and they're getting great
Yeah.
results. And yeah, do you know this method? And he said, yes. I'm doing it. I've been doing it for years. And it turns out that my
Wow.
husband was one of the, right? I was flabbergasted. We had been married for quite a few years by then. We had children together, and I didn't
Yeah.
even know he was doing it because he was doing it in such a way that was very personal. He didn't do the
Mhm.
tapping method full out. And of course, nowadays there are different versions of tapping.
Right.
So it was very interesting. But that was my second method, and then I have again followed my own needs and way of being to
Mhm.
to do an even better job. So I've been complementing EFT with more spiritual possibilities. So as I was evolving, my
Interesting.
parents died. I had some very, well, all throughout my life, I've had very visceral epiphanies or occurrences. And the most amazing ones were so blissful that there are no words for it. I've been able to
Wow.
connect to this source. And if you're religious, you'll call it God. If you're not religious, you'll call it something else. And it's this higher power. And I got to sense the power. I got to sense the beauty of this love power. And it's really powerful. It's a force. It's not just, oh,
Yeah.
rosy, cute, uh, cloudy emotions. I mean, that's part of it. But I was shown, and I've had this, I, I can just plug into it now. It's this
Nice.
amazing, amazing state where everything is good with the world. It's bringing down heaven
Mhm.
to this earth, and you can operate from that place of feeling, being, attitude. So it was not painful, but it was certainly it's been a journey of discovery and a journey of ease and possibilities for myself. So,
Yeah.
like most other people that have had an amazing transformation, they often tend to become the passing it forward person. So you've had this
Uh-huh.
amazing thing happen, and you just want to save the world with it. So that's very much the situation with me, and I just want everyone to feel like this and not take their
Yeah.
difficulties seriously.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I have to laugh when you said that your husband had already been practicing this for quite some time. Because I had this experience with my husband where after leading an NLP training, I felt like this pressure right here. And it would happen after every training. And I told him, I said, oh, like I always get this pressure, this pain right here when I'm done a training day. And he goes, Terry, just start tapping on it. Just start tapping. And I said, what are you talking about? Because my husband is a police officer, very grounded in this
Uh-huh.
world.
Mine
And I
too,
said, how do you,
yes.
like, what are you talking about? How do you know about this? He goes,
Right?
I don't know.
What do
Sometimes
you
I get
know of
that too.
this?
And he's like, I just tap on it and it just moves the energy
Oh,
around and it makes me feel better. And it was
wow.
just instinctive for him to do it.
Yes.
He hadn't
Mm-hmm.
learned about tapping or anything. It was just, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm laughing when I'm hearing about your
It's
husband because I'm
amazing.
like, these men, they
These
surprise
men, yeah,
us
mine
after,
is very
you know?
grounded as well. Yes. He's
Yeah.
very down to earth and doesn't believe in woo woo too much. Although, when
Yeah.
you scrape on the surface, he's had some experiences and there is something there.
Yes.
But I think
Yeah.
generally for men, especially police officers, or if you're in a trade where you're supposed to
Mhm.
be a man's man, whatever that is, but I'm sure most people
Yeah.
can refer to, and conjure up a picture of what that could be. Um, these
Mhm.
woo-woo things and this ethereal and spiritual and deeper, the deeper realms aren't necessarily what they're supposed to be doing. But yes, that's it's wonderful to
Right.
hear though that
Yeah.
yeah, he
Yeah.
found it
And
naturally. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And I want to go back to what you just touched on about not taking our difficulties too seriously. Can you tell us more about
Mm,
that? Because I think for a
yes.
lot of people listening, like when you're in it, it's so hard to not take that seriously and have that be all encompassing. So how
Hmm.
can we not take our difficulties so
That's
seriously?
it. Oh, I love that question. And to be honest, that is the most difficult thing for people, that they don't even believe it's
Mm,
possible. What do you mean? I
right.
have a real serious issue here, and it's really difficult and it's really painful. And
Yeah.
yes, I understand. But as one of my colleagues several years ago, she expressed it so nicely. She said, "Pain is pain happens, but suffering, that's on you." So the pain, you break something, something says
Yeah.
something mean, you get hurt, you feel a feeling that isn't
Hmm.
pleasant, you get embarrassed, whatever it is that you find negative. Yes, it stings,
Yeah.
but it's temporary. So just, well, there are more steps to this, of course, because what you need to have as part of this way of being is to understand that these people that sting you, that offend you, that don't listen to you, that don't
Hmm.
do what you want them to, they have their own issues. They have their own difficulties. They're going
Right.
through something themselves, and they don't always do things to hurt you on purpose, or rather, that's actually rare that people do things to hurt you on purpose. So
Right.
if you can step back, take a deep breath, another colleague of mine said, smile, just just as an automatic, and it takes some training, uh, but
Right.
it's so simple and it's so easy. You break state, as it's called in psychology and mental training. You break state, and there are different ways of doing it. I mean, as an NLP practitioner, you'll know that. But just smiling, imagining even that you take a step back, that you turn away from this situation or the person, or you actually leave. You say, "Excuse me, I really need to take a little break now." Whatever you do to break state, and then you go into this deep heart-centered breathing. You start spreading these hormones of oxytocin by actively
Mm,
doing something pleasurable. So oxytocin will heal you. And then you can go back, you can talk about it, you
mhm.
can sort things out. But again, the biggest issue is that people don't even believe it's possible. So that's really the first step. It
Right.
can be, it is very, very simple. If you start allowing yourself the option of seeing the world, yourself, the people around you in a different light. As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, yesterday I had a workshop, and this one woman, she didn't want to be on screen. She was hidden. She was all secretive. She was all in her own way of being. And that's how we are until
Right.
someone helps us out of there, or we seek another route, another way of um, living our life. So she was very secretive, and I lured her out of her shell. And within half an hour, she went from
Nice.
suspicious and not wanting to talk and not wanting to come forward and showing herself as the wonderful human she is. So within 30
Yeah.
minutes, her whole attitude, the difficulty, her hope came back. She didn't have hope. She was desperate. She hated life.
Wow.
And within half an hour, she just shifted out of this and thanked me profusely. And that's the
Nice.
possibility if you give yourself a chance to try it out.
Yeah, that's such a great example. And I love that you were able to do that for her in such a short period of time. That's
Mm,
a powerful transformation.
it
What
is. But that's the
exactly,
tools. That's the
yeah.
tools are very powerful.
Yeah, and that's, it's perfect that you say that because I want to ask you about what exactly is EFT. So for the audience, for people who don't know what that is or haven't come across it yet, can you explain a little bit about it for us and how it
Hmm.
works?
Absolutely. So EFT is emotional freedom techniques in plural, because
Hmm.
EFT contains several methods, actually. It contains
Okay.
EMDR, emotional or eye movement desensitization. It contains visualization. It contains
Uh-huh.
cellular sensations and transformation. It contains going
Right.
in and getting in touch with your inner child. It's several methods in one, and
Mm.
it's very gentle, it's very loving, and you are guided to go deeper than you normally go and go into the body as opposed to
Mm.
staying in the mind, and feel the
Right.
emotions, allow the feelings and your intuition, allowing your difficulties to get a voice, to come to the surface and express what is
Nice.
really going on here. Why are you taking this so seriously? Today I had a client, and he was getting these amazingly big expressions and negativity about something not so big necessarily. Not great,
Mm.
but it wasn't as big and as traumatic and dramatic as his emotions expressed it. And that is always a
Interesting.
sign that there is something deeper going on. Because normally, if it's
Yeah.
not so big, he knew in his head, he was telling me that I know it here, up in my head, in my
Yeah.
thoughts, in my reasoning, but in my core, in my center, in
Mhm.
my heart, in my super quick explosions of
Mm.
feelings that this is dangerous, that this is super lethal, even when it really isn't,
Wow.
shows and indicates that there are more layers or something deeper. This comes from childhood, this comes from previous experiences, and yes, it's favorable to take a look at it with these simple means.
Oh, that's amazing.
So yes, so
Yeah.
um, you can easily, when you allow yourself to gently take a look at what's really going on, because when you tap on
Mhm.
certain acupuncture points. When you tap on them, the whole system calms down. Originally, EFT was based on
Yeah.
the meridians and the energy fields and blockages in the energy fields. So, whether you believe in that, or if you just can see that when you are stressed, pressured, you're in a bad place, your whole system, your body, your
Mhm.
physicality, your muscles will freeze, cramp, and so you have a physical blockage. So it's a holistic, it's a full
Right.
body experience, and it's really wonderful. It's really very efficient, and
Yeah.
because I mean my view is that because it's so holistic and it takes the whole body into the process, that's why you get such wonderful results.
Amazing. And I know that you work with business leaders, entrepreneurs. How do you use these techniques to help them in areas of business and achieving success? Or yeah, how do you do that?
Well, as a business owner or leader or CEO, you have you come to work, you come to your business with your own issues. So that's one level, and everyone can relate to that personal level. But you also come with certain assumptions about yourself. I'm this good, I'm so good, I'm maybe not great, I'm maybe not good enough.
Mm.
Maybe I got this job because I knew that person, and maybe my CV is a touch, what's that called? Spiced up or pimped. I'm not using the right word. Um, and and you are sitting in this wonderful position. You're in charge of
Mhm.
people, you're helping people, you're a leader, and your business might be successful, but there's something sabotaging your success. Maybe you are not
Yeah.
so comfortable charging as much as you deserve. Maybe
Mhm.
talking to that particular client is really not so comfortable because that client is super successful and
Right.
you're just this tiny little business in comparison. And so you come to work and business with your insecurities, with your issues, with difficulties, with
Mhm.
attitudes, maybe have judgments against certain people. So when you have this possibility to take on a project or some business or even a job, you don't even go for it because, oh no, they won't. I'm not there yet. I don't have the qualifications they're looking for. Oh, we haven't worked with that big of a business before. So you
Right.
might be holding your back. And there are all kinds of issues that are sabotaging your success and your happiness at work because you're
Mhm.
bringing you there and you have
Right.
certain issues and thought patterns that are limiting, and you might not think of yourself well enough, or you're afraid of something. It's a plethora of amazing little things that will sabotage your success and your joy and your happiness.
Yeah.
And this can so easily be fixed and switched out of with, well, EFT, but now nowadays I have added love power. So when you plug
Oh.
in, yes, so when you plug into this state of bliss, of joy, of gratitude. People can relate to that. When
Mhm.
you so
Yeah.
for example, this woman yesterday, she was saying, "Oh, I don't feel anything. I don't, yeah, I don't know, this. I can't relate to this blissful, joyful gratitude feeling." Because you use that feeling as fuel, you use the happiness and love emotions as fuel, as a tool to heal your negativity, your difficulties,
Right.
your issues. So
Yeah.
I saw that her cat was walking by the screen. So I said, well, how do you feel about your cat? Oh, I love my cat. So she could use that feeling and take that
Mhm.
feeling and embody it, make it grow. I have this system where you walk the stairs, um, and you increase this feeling. And she
Yeah.
felt it in her body. She felt it fill her cells. And there she was,
Mhm.
smiling and optimistic and hopeful. Um,
Nice.
and uh, and then we worked through what practical steps you could take to actually start having a shift in reality as well.
Mm.
So it's not just woo woo, it's not just filling yourself with amazing feelings, but then what? What do you do with it? How do you
Right.
approach your boss? How do you approach your partner that is not pulling his or her weight or whatever it is? So you imbue yourself, you fill yourself up, you put yourself in this amazing state, and then
Mhm.
you live your life, and then your life will
Nice.
be completely different, of course.
Yeah. Absolutely. That sounds fantastic.
Mm.
That's great. People work with you. When they come to you, what does that process look like?
I have a clinic here in Stockholm, in the city.
Nice.
And so either they come in or I can work with people online. And the
Okay.
process is that we will meet, we have a little chat, I find out what is going on, and then I take them through this guided meditation, you could say. It feels like a meditation to them, but of course, I'm taking them through all these steps. I'm asking them to visualize things, I'm asking them to look forward, backward. I'm
Mhm.
asking them to get in touch with their inner child, and I'm asking them to, when they visualize themselves in the future, what does that person feel like? Um, Sometimes
Right.
it's they're there and they're feeling something better. They're feeling their future self. But if they don't, then we go back and we look at, well, why not? Which part of you, which younger version of you is protesting? So we get in touch with that younger person. Then of course there's the tapping, there's
Yeah.
the eye movements, there's the, well, that's the key elements. But then in
Yeah.
the futuristic scenario, if they can see themselves in any sort of positive state of mind, then we grow
Mm.
that. We visualize, we add. If the person has a connection to spirit, we include that, have the spirit
Yeah.
come in and the sense of help, if you will. And it's a
Mhm.
huge, complicated process.
Right.
But the very, very first beginnings are that you can learn yourself are very helpful as
Mm.
well. And sometimes people
Yeah.
get very, very far on their own. So you can start with the traditional EFT. You can start with um, the things that you can pick up online,
Yeah.
or there are courses, and I offer courses.
Yeah.
You can begin there. But if you want to go deeper, faster, take help from a practitioner, take help from someone who is
Mhm.
doing this. And quite honestly, we all do it somewhat differently. And of course, as you can hear, I've added
Yeah.
all kinds of fabulous things to the process. But
Yeah.
the very formalized steps of EFT, emotional freedom techniques, is amazingly helpful on its own.
Mhm. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about the courses that you offer?
Sure. I have a 10-week course that takes you through this process so you can learn it and do it on your own. So it's
Nice.
we meet online, you get some homework. I'm rather restrictive with homework because people have so much on their
Mm.
plate as it is,
Mhm.
but it's pleasurable homework, so most people don't mind.
Nice.
And then I have workshops where you can come and try the process out, open workshops. I have a variety of things. And then I have a book. I wrote a book where
Yeah.
I boiled the process down into 23 seconds. And
Wow.
unfortunately, again, most people find it incredulous, but I counted,
Yeah.
and to be quite honest, I can do it even faster. And anyone who
Wow.
has tried something similar, or has worked on themselves, and they will tell you that yes, all it takes is a breath and you can be somewhere else. And the proof of it
Amazing.
is that, yes, I mean, and there's simple proof. I'll illustrate it with a short, tiny little example, which is that, let's say you meet someone and they're really rude and they're angry and they're very unfriendly, and
Mhm.
they're asking you to help them out, and you're supposed to do business with them, or maybe it's someone that you're supposed to be working with in some fashion or privately, and they're really
Right.
unpleasant, and they're short, and you just sense that this is going to be horrible. And then as you talk to them for a few minutes, it comes up that they admit to you that, and maybe even in the short and not so pleasant tone, they share with you that, oh, the reason I'm not myself anymore is because I just went through this divorce and she took the house and the kids and the dog
Mm.
and everything. All of a sudden, in a split second, you have a completely different view of this person.
Yeah.
All of a
Yeah.
sudden, it took just a breath, and this person isn't as horrible anymore. I mean, sure, you're not
Right.
thrilled that they're the way they are, but all of a sudden, it's not as bad. And
Mhm.
that's how it works. When you can understand something about yourself, when you can open up on the inside, allow yourself not to have to be perfect, when you can allow yourself something else in a different way than you've been doing it for years and years and years, and you've tried and you worked on your
Yeah.
issue and you worked on your issue, and it's not working. Well, try adding joy first, adding a sense of inner peace and harmony and bliss, in my case,
Mhm.
to clean your issue up, to give you strength
Nice.
to clean your issue up. But it's not even that much work you need to do, because it turns out that when you allow yourself to be in this state, when you prioritize this state, you go to your issue and you notice that it's not all there any longer. Some of it has disappeared. Some of it, someone came and helped you with it. So universe helps you when you put yourself in this positive vibe, if you will, because the magic of metaphysics is part of this. Universe aligns and helps you out and sort things out. So you don't have to do half of the work or even that much even. Sometimes it's all gone. And it's really, really amazing.
It sounds amazing. That's incredible.
It is.
So I want to shift
I'm talking about it forever and ever, but the process is just very simple. But it's just a few steps, and if you do them, learn them, 23 seconds, and you can be in another place very quickly.
Amazing. That's amazing. And and I just want to also reinforce what you said about how it's important to work with a practitioner too, because I believe we all have blind spots. So
absolutely
needing that other person, right? You can see in your client what maybe they're not acknowledging or aware of yet.
Exactly.
So I think that's so important to do. I want to shift now into the rapid fire questions that I have. So if you'll indulge me in this.
This was actually difficult for me. This was actually tough for me.
Really?
Yes, because I don't have a one and only favorite. I am so multifaceted and out there. So I had to really think about this. But I thank you for it, because it was kind of interesting. It was an interesting exercise for me to see and get in touch with maybe acknowledging some favorite-ish options.
Perfect.
So I love hearing that. Thank you. Away.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's start with your favorite book.
Yes. So Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Yes.
And I quote that, and that's very foundational in my work, because Viktor Frankl was in a concentration camp, and in spite of all the horrors, and I mean, we're really talking horrors, he found that place that I'm advocating. So he's in what I do and how I've developed my work and attitude, and I understood his principle. No matter what, no matter how bad it is, you can go into that spot, that place on the inside, and be safe and feel good. So, yes.
Yeah. It's a great book. Favorite food?
Yes. So here in Sweden, I don't know if you have it. I don't think they're international yet, but we have something called Holy Greens. It's a restaurant. And they serve only salad, just salads. It's a salad bar. And but the salads are so fresh and delicious. So my favorite one is a salmon one. It's cooked salmon on a bed of black rice with deep greens. So your kales and your broccolis and soybeans, edamame beans, and it's all dressed with a creamy vinaigrette. It's so amazing. And so thank you for for having me remember that. I have to go back there soon.
Yeah, sounds like it. That sounds amazing. Biggest pet peeve?
That would have to be bullies. I had to search for that, because I lately, or over the years, I've become so blooming positive that I find I don't let people get to me. They're having an issue, they're having difficulties, but bullies are still on my list. Yes, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
But they also I just want to add that bullies, they have huge issues. I mean, the worse of a person you are in that state of grading a person, the worse you are, the more issues you have. So even my heart goes out to them. But yeah, they are a bit annoying.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes. Who inspires you?
Well, lately I've been in touch with Sir Richard Branson. I've joined LinkedIn. I used to hang on Facebook, but someone recommended LinkedIn. And it's
Hmm.
very interesting because it is a more grown up. I hope people don't take
Yeah.
offense, but it is more of a business place. And of course,
Yes.
I love everything business. I love running business. I love being inspired by business. I
Hmm.
love the different business ways, and I just love
Yeah.
the part of yeah. And so
Yeah.
LinkedIn, I've been uh, not chatting because I don't even know if it's him, but yes, I've been in touch with him, and I love what he stands for
Amazing.
and his charity work, and he's got
Yeah.
that big heart, and he does heart-centered work. So he's definitely my latest favorite.
Yeah. Incredible. Three things you would take with you to a deserted island.
Well, a survival kit. I'm very
Yeah.
practical, so I would need some sort of gear. A
Yeah.
solar powered satellite phone to call for help, or maybe
Smart.
even entertainment or some sort of human contact, or
Yeah.
otherworldly, or no, contact with the world at large. And then my hubby,
Hmm.
because my husband is so handy and so
Yeah.
clever, and he would figure out how to use the survival kit that I might not even know how to use. So he's very inventive. So he would have to come along as well, and for company and
That's
love, of
great.
course. But
Yeah,
yes.
of course. That's excellent. Who's a celebrity that you would like to have dinner with, dead or alive?
Well, Simon Sinek. I don't even know how to
Oh, yeah.
say his name. Yes, and he
Yeah.
also has that heart-centered way of
Hmm.
running businesses, and he wants to help the leaders. And
Yeah.
I just find him very inspirational, and I support what he does because that's where I'm at. So I'd love
Yeah.
to have dinner and talk shop with him.
Amazing. And finally, your go-to karaoke song.
Oh, it's all the same theme, isn't it? But Happy by Pharrell Williams is so. I just listened to it now as I was preparing for your meeting, or this
Oh,
chat
nice.
today, and it's you just have to hear the first few tones and the rhythm, and yes, let's get happy and let all our worries just
Yeah.
disappear, melt away, and celebrate life and what we have. We might not have what anyone
Yeah.
else has, or we don't have those amazing things that you're supposed to have, but it turns out that maybe some of these amazing things aren't so amazing. So don't ask for too much,
Hmm.
because it might be more of a burden than you ever imagined. So don't wish for too much.
Right.
Make it simple. Make life simple and
Yeah.
happy, and believe in
Yeah.
yourself.
That's great advice. And before we finish up, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share?
Well, it would have to be that I wish that everyone will take their inner work more seriously, that happiness is serious business, in the sense that if you stay in that not so great place, if you let yourself be there, and oh, it's only this, and oh, I can manage having it this bad, it might get worse, because that spiral tends to get worse if you don't do
Right.
something actively to get yourself out of there and turn it and have it go in a positive direction. So take help. There's all kinds of help out there. You help people. Just
Hmm.
reach out, and it doesn't have to be so complicated or
Definitely.
difficult. So just take that first step to make life truly happy, the way you need it to be, the happy that you're looking for.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate this conversation.
Thank you, Terry. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.